So what I've done here is kind of taken the different threats, motives, and forms of attacks and broken things out so we can identify various information here as far as security issues. So as far as different security threats, I've broken them down into different terror groups, organized crime, hackers, crackers. I already mentioned before the disgruntled employee or bribed employee is another one. If I have reason to believe that I can get information from an employee by simply paying them money, I might be able to get intellectual property from that company or that particular organization. Competing companies, certainly industrial espionage or military espionage, spying, if it were, is certainly a part of these threats that we have to consider. I mentioned script kiddies, and countries are also, different states of the world certainly trying to, further their own means, and the people within their states certainly have reasons to attack other states, and the whole idea of computer warfare is present. It's something that we do, on a regular basis, not just, not any particular country you might think out there that's a bad country. Most every country has some form of capability when it comes to technological warfare, as far as network-to-network type attack. Now, the motivations for these type attacks, I mentioned espionage or spying on other companies or other countries, but there's also extortion, bragging rights. Certainly a financial gain is certainly a great reason to attack somebody. Learning about, certainly furthering your own intelligence or learning additional or just simply interesting information is sometimes certainly a motive for coming in. And, then there's the motivation of, I don't like this particular entity, so I'm going to do what I can to destroy them. So taking down or taking away their intellectual property and destroying it in such a manner where they can't access it or can't use it anymore. Now, these types of attacks can come from various different forms. They can either be indirect attacks, usually in the form of things like worms or quickly spreading viruses through the internet. They can be a directed attack, so somebody who is actively going after, attempting specifically to infiltrate your network. It can be inside. I mentioned, internal employees tend to be the most damaging of attacks because they already have some level of trust within the network. I mentioned bot or distributed code, and there's also close-in type attacks as well. So common network threats we might run into, things like password compromises, can come in the form of password crackers or keyboard loggers. We can see denial of service attacks, which come in a few different forms. Your regular denial of service attack, which is a directed attack, somebody specifically going after you and they're attacking you from their own machine. There's a distributed denial of service attack, or DDoS attack, which usually comes in the form of a botnet specifically attacking your network. There's one I invented, which is the ADOS attack, or administrative denial of service attack. That's when you screw up so bad you bring down your own network. So, there you go. There's the intel gathering part of network threats, otherwise known as network reconnaissance, where somebody's actively trying to learn about your corporate network layout and trying to discover information about how your network is constructed in such a way so they can start discovering certain exploitable devices or end stations within your network. Really what they're looking for here is specifically low-hanging fruit. Now in the security realm, the term low-hanging fruit is really the devices within their network that are least secure, so easiest for us to attack and get foothold of the network. Now those low-hanging fruit are the things you really have to worry about from a security perspective, because those are the things the attackers are going to go after, because once they get a hold of them, they can start gaining access to other parts of your network. So other parts of intel gathering would be packet capturing devices, sniffers, or port scanning utilities that can discover open access ports within the network.